Well, the POUSE out of the house, so today is the first ride that I have not only done with my new Wings exhaust, actually the first ride I've done even this year, which is absolutely shameful. And that really for me is just a combination of weather, children, other activities, jobs to do and work, and none of them quite align. I have also taken up, or tried to take up, a spot of fly fishing. There have been 2 or 3 opportunities where I've done that rather than go out on the bike, just because I want to get back into that. So you can't do it all, can you? So anyway, the important thing today is first ride on this 701 SM with my new Wings exhaust. I've been riding the bike for about 20 minutes. First impressions, it doesn't seem to be as juddery when you're lower down in the gears and you're coming to a halt. I used to find it terrible in, say, 3rd gear, and it seemed to get worse the longer I had the bike. I don't know if the ECU or whatever it is adjusts, but I found it very juddery. Say you were in 4th or 3rd gear and you came too slow, the bike would really try to leap around and it's quite hard to ride slowly. Now oddly, that seems to have improved at the moment. I'm able to ride quite slowly without any issues, but I did find earlier I was going up a hill in 2nd, coming to a halt to wait for a car, and it was nice and smooth. I was getting slower and slower. I thought, let's see how slow we can go, and the bike suddenly did do a leap. It was like there was a lot of compression, the bike couldn't take it and it jumped and stalled. So it's a bit of a strange one. You don't want to go too slow, but it does seem to have improved it if you keep a bit of pace. Now I must be clear with this as well. I've got the Wings exhaust on, I've done nothing else. I got the standard air filter on, I haven't remapped it yet. That is still my plan to go with my brother, Big POUSE. We're going to take the 2 bikes over, as I mentioned before, and get these bikes done. The plan was to do a lot earlier in the year. It's very hard to get out, and then when everyone does go out, say it's going to be a great day on the weekend, I've usually got something else on, and then when I do say I'm free on the weekend, let's go for a ride, it bloody hammers down with rain. So I said today, nice afternoon, cut the lawn this morning, got all my chores done, and I thought I'm going to treat myself to a nice little ride out this afternoon. We're going to meet up with Sam, who you've seen in my previous videos. He also was doing some DIY refitting a bathroom. Just told me on messages he's probably not going to be able to squeeze the ride in. Just as I leave, and I get another message saying F-U-C-K it. I'm going out, so I'm hoping I'm going to stop in a minute, check my phone, see where we're meeting, and fingers crossed we'll have a nice ride out together. The other thing I'm doing at the moment is I'm running this exhaust in a bit. It does say after the initial 15-minute run in with your bike just ticking over to actually do about 30 miles on the exhaust before you start really pushing it, just to make sure that the packing in that gets up to even temperature. And they say that it just reduces the chance of hot spots in the exhaust, so that's what I'm doing. Hopefully we'll pick up the pace a bit later. And the other really important thing I should mention, if you haven't watched that video of how to fit the Wings exhaust, I've done a full step-by-step tutorial, all in about 6 minutes, no messing around, on how to fit the exhaust. If you're interested in doing that and fitting a DNA air filter, I've also shown how to fit the DNA air filter with either the stage 2 kit or back with the original air cover. I'll put links to all those videos on the screen as we go through this video, and I'll also put links to those videos in the description section below. All the bikes out today. And this is where this bike struggles. I'm in 1st gear, yeah, I can't go any lower. And okay, granted we're doing 10 miles an hour, not quite sure why we're doing 10 miles an hour. But this is hard on this bike, you can see how lumpy it is, but then that's, you know, it's a single cylinder. So I just stopped to check the GoPro because it was playing up, I couldn't turn it off, and then it said repairing file or something like that, which is now repaired. So hopefully we got the start of the footage of this trip. Sam has since sent me some Google Live location thing and told me which way he's going, so being a technophobe, I've never used that before. Apparently I could share my location as well, didn't want to risk that because I'll probably break something, but I can stop and check where he is in a minute. But I reckon if he's coming from the way he said he is, I'm just going to go and find him, and hopefully our paths will cross and then we can ride together. Now I've read a lot of comments on the Facebook 701 group, and it's so mixed. Some people say best bike ever, then you get the other extreme, terrible, should have had a, you know, like a road bike or something like that. And the only thing that I can honestly think is they either don't know how to have fun on a bike, you know, or they're just driving on, you know, their area's large roads, straight lines. Because I'm very lucky, I live in South Wales, and as you can see the roads are all like this. They're a bit sort of in and out, gritty. They get a bit wet and slidey in the winter, but when it's dry like this, I mean, you couldn't ask for more than this. Countryside, I've got the Brecon Beacons nearby, you know, it's absolutely perfect really. So I think it's great. It's like, it's a great bike to throw around. If you want to pull up, you can ride over curbs, chuck it on the side of the street, you know, you can get it anywhere. You can go for a little off-road blip. I mean, obviously I got the stock tyres on this, the Evo Conti Attack 2s, I think, and they're okay. I wouldn't want to be taking them too far off-road, but my point is the bike will do it. So for me, it's perfect sort of all-round commuting, mucking around bike for a few hours. Yeah, I can't understand why there's so many negative comments about it. That was Sam, so I'm going to turn around and find him now. He was nodding at me thinking I was someone else though. Let's go and find him. I can smell a bit of a hot burny smell, and I'm not sure if that is my exhaust, but there we are. Hello, hello.
I recognise that yellow greenish colour.
Well, I thought you would. No, he's off already. I haven't been on the bike for ages and I cannot keep up with him, but there we are. I'll just have to catch him up later. Where's he going? Yeah, I thought so. Wrong way. He completely missed it. Wasn't paying attention. This bike has still got some oomph when you want it. Woohoo! Someone that is into bikes, you will understand when I say there's nothing quite like just going out for a lovely ride like this with your mates, good dry weather. It's like so relaxing, and yet at the same time can be quite exhilarating, I guess. And for those of you who watched before or haven't, the bike that Sam's on in front is a Honda Hornet, a 2004 model. I think it's a 2004. And we put these bikes sort of to the test, you know, in a straight line, and there's not a lot in it until you get to about 80, and then that thing carries on then. Now the BDI, you may have noticed that I've got this now in mode 2. I just changed that because I remembered I was riding in mode 1, I thought, oh, I'll stick it in that one now. And it has got a little bit more oomph, to be fair. The other one's a lot more progressive, and I don't know if it's just I haven't been on it for a while or what, but this exhaust, I'm not sure if it's making it, when you get higher speeds, a bit more progressive. Not, when I say progressive, let's say slow if you like. It's not as exciting. I don't know, it's lost a bit of compression. Either way, they say you should just get them what's it called, I completely forgot now. Chipped? No. This is my brain, see, when you get old, this is what happens, kids. You'd say this sort of road is ideal for this bike, but Sam seems to think it's ideal for a Honda Hornet as well. You'd think he's got off-road tyres on there, wouldn't you? One thing I've never done on my bike, which I need to do, is sort the suspension out. Because there's no doubt about it, I'm quite light, and I think it's quite bouncy. I don't sink with it, so what I find is the bike slides across the road a bit, with me bouncing on top. And I think is what I need to do is adjust the settings so that the bike doesn't slide. You know, I bed in and it grips. Because what I'm finding is a lot of the time the bike is just scatting all over the place, and it can make you, well, it makes me a bit nervous. So we're stopping here for a cheeky little Coca-Cola. Full fat, of course. How do you ride every bike like an off-road bike?
I can't hear you, hang on. What's that to do?
Oh, sorry, I thought I'd scratch that.
Going on now.
So there we are, nice little stop in the pub, glass of Coke, right by the River Mono, and there it is. And now we're back into Monmouthshire. Why is he telling me to slow down then? I'm a bit confused. What's around here? In this exhaust I have put the smallest baffle, which is like the quietest one. So the idea is it shouldn't make too much noise. And it's actually fine. I gotta be fair. It's a bit noisier than the standard one, but I don't find it at all intrusive when I'm on the bike and I'm trying to speak. It's got a bit more, like when you take your throttle off, it's got a bit more of a fluffing sound. You get a that kind of sound. But generally sounds good. Now I might try it with the bigger baffle. I'm certainly not going to try it without the baffle, because a lot of people do that, but they say it gives you no advantage, and sometimes it can actually be a bit worse, and also it's just too loud, so I won't be doing that. But I might give it a go, like I said, with the larger one before I take it to be rolling roaded. And do you know what? I can still not think of the word for tuning it up. Mapped. There we go. Just came to me. Mapped. So before I get it mapped, I'm going to try and work out which baffle I want to put in it. But either way, the guy doing the mapping said that it's probably not going to make a difference. You'll get the same performance. It's just down to what sort of sound you want more than anything. So yeah, so I can definitely say I like the wings, the sound of the wings. I know a lot of people say they don't and they think they're cheap. Well, only time will tell from a longevity point of view. I'll give you an update in 6 months and we'll see if we get any hot spots or corrosion or anything like that. But I keep my bike garage and I don't use it that much, so I'm hopeful that it'll probably last okay, to be honest. You'll probably notice Sam's gone on ahead. He knows these roads quite well. That's my excuse for not keeping up anyway. I don't mind, whatever, up to you. Oh, they're neck and neck. I'm going to slow down now. I was watching you.
That's why I was going slow through those woods.
That's the difference, because this wasn't too bad at all.
I couldn't remember where they were. So
You started doing it, I watched you back end, you kept going, fair play to you. But a lot faster than me. I wasn't following you today. I thought, don't do it. I got holiday in 2 days. I do not need to end up with a broken arm. That's what I was saying with this bike, right? Don't get me wrong, it's great, but I do think I need a sort of suspension, because it's quite bumpy for me. This is like bouncing me almost, rather than the suspension sinking in and allowing me to soak, or the bike soak up the bumps. It's almost bouncing it into the air a bit. And I'm sure that's just my setup, because I've never changed it since I've had it. And that's one thing that I'm really going to have to try and do, is sit down one day, learn how to use the suspension properly, hone it all in, get it set up perfectly for me, and then get to a point where while I'm out on a ride I can actually adjust it, because it's fully adjustable. There's no excuse for me not really knowing how to do it, and I'm sure it's not complicated. So maybe one for another video. There's a guy in front there with his lad on the back by the looks of it. Exactly what my old man used to do with me. I have threatened to take my own kids on the back of the bike, but Miss Pouse says no, so... And she's probably right. Just to give you a quick summary of this exhaust before I do finish the video. I think as a plug and play, if you follow the fitment instructions in the video that I did, you'll be absolutely fine. Pretty much. I've noticed no difference, I would say. Maybe a bit freer, possibly a little bit more acceleration, but do you know what I mean? I don't really think it's making a difference. It'd be interesting to run two bikes side by side, but I think if you just want a nicer sounding can, I mean, one advantage is it's half the weight of the other one, so you're going to lose a few grams, you know. I think if you want to change it for the wings, you'll have no problem at all. Certainly that's in the first instance. Like I said, I'll give you an update in the future about any other issues that may arise. Obviously I'm planning on getting mine mapped, and then I'm going to put a DNA air filter on it as well, and then hopefully we'll have the whole thing mapped, you know, to the new spec of the bike, in which case it should run a lot better. Because as people say, and they're quite right, you know, the bike doesn't run right from stock. It's not slow, it's still got a lot of torque, but you know, it's not like breathtaking. You wouldn't get on it if you've ridden other fast bikes and say, wow, this is amazing. But I think it's the torque which is the important thing they say you get with the mapping. You know, you get a lot more horsepower, but it's the torque. People say that you can power wheelie and that. I'm not sure, we'll see. I'm crap at wheelies anyway. I say I'm crap. By crap I mean I can't do them. And that's another thing that I want to learn to do, and you know, I'm never going to learn if I don't get on the bike of mine. Anyway, on that note, I've gone off on a tangent. I'm waffling again. I think we're going to leave it there. So if you've enjoyed the video, can you please give it a like? If you're interested in DIY, head over to my other channel, POUSE Around the House. Watch, like, share, subscribe. Finally, if you haven't done so already, can you please subscribe to this channel, as it really helped me out, and I'd really love to get over 1,000 subscribers. So please do that if you can. I've been POUSE out of the house. Ta-ta, farewell.